This podcast is brought to you in conjunction with hustro.com, a leading construction management software tool.
I'm gonna. It's kind of a raw question to ask you, but do you think you would have had a better life without the addiction, or do you think you were who you were?
What a question!
Sorry,
That's a great question.
I don't know. I don't want to sort of.
That's that's mega. Do I think I would have had a better life without the addiction?
Yeah.
I don't. I think, and I'll tell you for why. You got me there.
Sorry, pal.
You got me there. Mega. Absolute mega. No, I don't. And I'll tell you for why, because me going through what I've been through, and I was in addiction, active addiction, for the same time as I'm sober now, 15 years on both. So I've had two lives, and I wouldn't change it. Like the question that I got asked last year, I wouldn't change it because it's made me the person I am today.
Yeah.
I truly believe if I wasn't an alcoholic addict, then I wouldn't have the relationship I've got with God that I do.
Yeah.
Because I've the most amazing relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
I am a Christian.
Yeah.
And I've got the most amazing relationship with Christ ever. And I truly believe that, you see, something's got to happen. With every breakdown, with every breakthrough, there has to be a breakdown. There has to be something. Like before, what I said about pain.
Yeah.
And strength. So I truly believe that if I would have said, I wish I wasn't, and I had a normal life, say, like my brother,
yeah,
I don't think I'd be as happy as I am today at all.
Yeah.
My life is incredible.
Hello, everybody. Gavin Coyle, I'm the Gaffer, back again. I have a great guest on again, obviously, James Ford. He is in the UK. And I know that we've had a couple of people on in regards to mental health, but mental health and addiction as a double-barreled problem in construction is what we're going to talk about today. And James, unfortunately, has had scenarios in his life where he's had life experiences in order to share them with you guys. And he is on the circuit going around construction companies telling them his story. But for you today, he's going to tell his story as well. And it's fairly shocking and fairly intimate in terms of how addiction and mental health can affect you personally. Again, a word of warning: if you have any issues or if you're suffering from any of the things that are brought up in the show today, to reach out to the Samaritans or to an organization or to a loved one and let them know that you're having a difficult time. And apologies if there's any sort of triggers within the podcast during the podcast, and we'll be sensitive to that as well. James is founder of JT Motiv, and you're going to love his energy, his enthusiasm, and you're going to love him as a person because he's that type of person. James, welcome to the studio. Welcome to I'm The Gaffer.
Gavin, thank you so much for having me on. I've been so excited for this. No expectations, just press record and let's do it. Absolutely. Yeah. How's things for you? Are you good?
Oh, we're good, yeah. We're getting into it. We're all sitting here in the background, kind of like what's going to come next with this conversation. So where do we start, James? Where do you want to start? That's the best way to put it.
Let's start with construction. So I left school and went straight into construction as a apprentice electrician. 1996. I'm showing my age now. 30 years ago, nearly, Gavin. And you see, addiction never got me. Loads of people say stuff like, he had trauma in his life, he had a bad childhood, that's why he got addicted. Not for me. It might happen in others, but that's not my story. My story is, I had a great childhood, left school, bullied a little bit at school, didn't really do much, but I was still in with the in crowd of the boys. But I left 16, apprentice electrician. I was on £10 a day, 50 quid a week, 16 years old. And I thought, wow. And I remember my dad, God rest his soul, said, right, son, you're going into the building game now. My dad was a joiner. He had his own company. I'm going to take you to the pub. So I said, oh, okay, that's fair, okay. But you're not having lager, he said. I'm going to buy you a pint of mild. Absolutely rank. I had a mild at 16. I was nearly gagging. Anyway, So I was in the pub, the local that we went to, but it didn't get me. The beer didn't get me, didn't do anything. But what did get me was the flashing lights in the corner, the fruit machines. Got me. Daddy, we got a couple of quid. Bang, I was hooked. I was hooked from the get-go on fruit machines. And the love, should we say, for fruit machines took over for 3 years. Didn't really drink, didn't really do any... I'd not taken any drugs by this point. The fruit machines was my thing. And I tell you what, Gavin, within a year, it brought me to my knees when I tried to commit suicide. That's how bad the addiction of the fruit machines got. And it wasn't the bookies. And I weren't even old enough to gamble. I would put, as I said, I was on 50 quid a week. I would get paid on a Friday and I would go and put it all in the fruit machines where I lived in Stockport. And I would put it all in. Now, sometimes I'd win and I'd come out with 150 quid. And I'd go to the shop on my way home and I'd get my mum a box of chocolates and I'd get my dad a little bottle of whiskey. And they'd go, yeah, what sort? I won on the fruit machines. It was buzzing. The following 3 weeks after that, on a Friday, I lost a lot. I had bills to pay. So it took me to some dark places with not paying bills. This is at 16, 17 years old. So I was only a kid. I was a kid. Taking me to some very, very dark places for me. And not knowing why, once I put that first pound in, why did they have to carry on? I couldn't understand. I saw people put a couple of quid in and go, sat right, it's not paying out. Why couldn't I do that? Why have I got to be all or nothing? And I didn't know. I didn't know the answers. And then I stopped gambling when I really started drinking about 18 and a half. And I remember I gave up I'd been on site for 2.5 years as an apprentice electrician, and I left that company through health reasons, because it was always dusty and all that and stuff, and I've got severe COPD.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So I left. Hey, Gav, there's loads of things wrong with me. Loads. I look mint on I don't look mint on the outside, but to the outside world, I look all right. But inside, I'm goose. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
So I left. And I went and so I remember leaving and I thought, I'm going to go working at Morrison's. I become a fishmonger.
Oh, go on. No,
so I went from electrician. Oh, no, it weren't great. I stunk. My car.
Literally.
I stunk. And I couldn't start dating girls and all that, because I'd pick them up in my car.
Fish.
It rank. It was rank.
Yeah,
anyway,
no, it's bad. Awful is bad.
And that's where, when I joined Morrison's, that's where I worked. That's where my drink and drug use took off, because I started hanging around with older lads that worked there. And I knew from my first line of cocaine, I knew I was hooked. I knew instantly, because I bought a bag every single day for the next 5 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I remember doing lines off the back of my phone at 2:00 in the morning in my bedroom, in bed, on a Wednesday night. And I'm thinking in my head, is this normal behaviour? And I knew deep down it wasn't. And I wasn't really drinking with it. But the cracks started to show, because I started using in work. So I'd wake up in the morning and the first thing I'd do is I'd have some coke. And I'd go to work. And then I remember it was only within 4 months of me really getting into the cocaine scene. This was in 1998, 99. 19? 18, 19? Say 19 at this point. And within 4 months, I had a massive breakdown in work, in Morrison's. I went on my sick for 2 months. That was when I was thinking, something's not right. But I never put it down to the drugs. So my mum would go, right, doctors, you're going doctors, something wrong with you. It's your chemical imbalance. Take them to the doctors, and the doctor would go, quite rightly so, because they didn't know he's depressed. They'd give me a month's sick note, sertraline, obviously, and sertraline and anxiety tablets. You'd be fine now, James. Didn't tell him what I was up to. Didn't tell him that I was sniffing 5 times a week. But the cracks started to show. I remember I'd started drinking with it then as well. And I remember I would have these, I would always have these good intentions. This was just before my daughter was born. I'd have these good intentions of Friday night, right? And I would put conditions on it. I'm not going to go out and have a mad one. I'll have a couple with the boys and I'll get a 0.5. So I'll get a couple of lines of Coke, a couple of bottles of Bud. That'll do me fine. And then I'd start and then my head would say, I've got the taste. I always used to call it the taste. I've got the taste or I'm getting on it. Not knowing, I didn't know at that time. I only found out later on at 25, 26 that I suffered with an illness of addiction. And I suffered with, illness of addiction. If you suffer with the illness of addiction, it's a twofold illness. Now, I used to think this was a cop-out, and people still use it as a cop-out today, but it's recognised by the World Health Organization as an illness. And it's a twofold illness. So you put a drink in me, I physically can't stop. It does something in me that it doesn't do in my missus. My missus can have a glass of Prosecco. She'll get halfway down and go, not feeling that. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not feeling it? Babe, I'm on the bottle. I'm on the phone to my dealer. What do you mean you're not feeling it? Don't taste right. I'm not asked what it tastes like. See, that's not normal to me. Whereas with me, once I started, I couldn't stop physically. And I would continue to drink for days and days and days. So the easiest thing to say was, I would just say, well, I'll just try harder. I'll just get all my willpower and I'll just try harder. But I didn't know that I suffered with it's a twofold illness. I didn't know that I suffered with the mental obsession. This little voice in the head that goes, go on, James. You can have the one. Or a good one. It'll be different this time. So basically, it was the head that was having me over every single time. And it got worse. But it was like, Gavin, it was slowly getting worse. So when I had the breakdown and I've lost jobs and I've lost people and friends, but the progression of it from 19 to 25, 26 when I stopped was quite rapid. It was quick in succession, but it was a slow process. Like, if you ever lost my license, I'd give up. I lost my license and I'd be like, well, I've still got my flat that I bought. Well, if I ever lose my flat, I'll stop. Lost my flat. Well, if I ever, and I was just family, and I was just changing the goalposts all the time to justify me drinking and using. And I would have some periods where I would go, this is before, I got into recovery at 25, 26, so all this is before that. And I think, I need to try harder. I know what I'll do, I'll go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym. That'll help me. I went to the gym. It did only for 6 weeks or so. And then I went back on it through some trivial reason or happy occasion. I know what I'll do. I'll change the missus. She's always been the problem here. She's always been the problem. I'll change her. And I got with the new missus and I still carried on drinking and using. So I was continually changing all these external stuff outside, thinking it's going to fix me. And it never did. I got worse and worse and worse. And it's very, people that are listening now to us, Gavin, there's people listening now that are not alcoholics and will not understand fully. But if there's a few people listening now that go, yeah, I've felt like that, I've drunk like that, I've done what you've done, James, then you see, it's a dark, lonely place. Very dark, lonely place. The addiction keeps you isolated. It keeps you on your own. It wants you on your own. And it makes you think, well, I don't need anyone. I can do this on my own. When I remember, it brings back a time when I remember saying always, when I was still living with my parents at 19, I remember on a Monday morning, my mum would come in my room and she'd go, "Have you not gone into work again?" And I'd go, "No, mum." And she'd go, "Why are you ranging sick? Oh, I feel rough. Why can't you be like your brother? What, good looking? No. Why can't you go out on a Friday, Saturday night and then have your Sunday dinner with us and then go work on a Monday?" And I probably said one of the honest answers I've ever said to my mum at that time about my addiction. And they said, "I don't know." Genuinely, mum. Oh, by the way, if I get emotional through this, and I apologise because it brings back a lot of stuff up, reliving it. So my mum said, I said, "I promise." You know what, mum? I said, "I promise." And I meant it. I promise I'll stop. You put me on a lie detector at that point, Gavin, I would have passed. Jeremy Kyle would have come out and gone, "He's got a full house. He's passed the lie detector." Because I meant it. I meant it. I'm not doing this again, mum. 3 days later, my head says it's a good idea. It'll be different this time. You've promised your mum, crying 3 days before you're never going to do it again. This was my cycle for years. This was my cycle for 7 years.
And does that bring guilt and shame into the question, into the whole persona?
Massively. So much. Now, I've dealt with my guilt and shame when I got into recovery. We have steps to take to deal with that. But I remember I was on a talk last year and some guy at the end said, "Do you regret your past?" Oh, no, he didn't. Sorry, apologies. He said, "Would you change anything in your past?" And I said, honest answer, no. Because it's made me the person I am today. I truly believe I've had to go through what I've been through. So now I can pull people from the dark into the light. I can now help them. If you've got no experience around it, I truly believe you can't fully help anyone unless you've been through it yourself. I truly believe that. People make psychiatrists, doctors may give you good strategies and stuff, but unless you've been through it, it's like I say to a woman, "I know what childbirth feels like." They go, "No, you don't." And I don't, because I've not experienced it. It's the same thing. So as I was saying, if people are watching this, you might get identification with this and think, "Okay, yeah, I do that," or "I've done that. Why can't I stop?" My my br- my brother. So when I said before, Gavin, about I'm doing all these external stuff to try and fix what's going on, I had a great idea at 23. I thought, I'll buy my own. Now, I had a missus and a kid. Oh, I had a kid, by the way, at 20 years old, because that'll save me. She's 25 now, my daughter, and given us our first grandchild who's 18 months. He's the most incredible little boy I've ever. Anyway, I'll have a daughter. That'll save me. No, it didn't. But I bought at 23. I bought my own place, even though I had a missus and a house elsewhere. I thought I'll get my own little flat. And that's when my drinking and using really took off at 23 because nobody could see me. And mobile phones aren't like what they were today. And I used to get away. I used to go on like 7 day benders. Used to
Wow.
drink and use drugs for 7 days continually.
Wow.
Not shower, not brush my teeth, not go out my house. I used to get it delivered through the door. Won't go in work because I got away with a lot because I used to ring work and say, "I've got a chest infection." And they knew I was poorly and they'd go, "Get well soon, James. We'll see you in a week or two." So I was always given the green light.
Yeah.
And I remember my brother ringing once it was a Monday morning, about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And he rang me and he went, "Where are you?" He's my older brother. I said, I'm at the flat." "You not at work?" "No." "James, you need to toe the party line." Toe the party line? "Matt, I'm drinking warm whiskey from the bottle. I'm sniffing coke off the mantelpiece from last night. I'm watching Jeremy Kyle, thinking my life's not that bad. There's no party going on. I'm not partying. I don't know why I keep doing what I'm doing. it got to the point for me, Gavin, I thought, you just are not right. You're not wired up right. There's something wrong. Why do you keep doing what you're doing? Why do you keep making all these sweet promises to all your friends and family and loved ones and work colleagues and breaking within a few days or a few weeks? You see, my addiction wasn't always bad. Let me tell, and I'm not against drink or drugs at all. I'm not. A lot of my family still drink, but they're not alcoholics. They have a couple of glasses of champagne, a couple of glasses of wine, and then put the coffee machine on. They do it in moderation, like normal people do. I couldn't do that. So going up to when I went into 23 and I was in this flat, and obviously that's when my drinking and using went worse and worse and worse, and it got to the point where that's what we say. So I wasn't always bad. I started off as a binge, really. I'd do a weekend, Friday, Saturday, but then I'd come off it then for like 3 weeks. So that would keep me out there longer because I'd think, I can't have a problem. How can I have a problem? I can stop for 3 weeks. I've not got a problem. But that's not what defines me as having a problem. What defines me as having a problem is when I say I'm only going to have a couple, do I? No. Just once I start, I can't stop. Okay. Once you say you're never going to do it again and you mean it, is it true? Do you stop for good? No, I can never do that either. You probably got a problem with drink then. If you're even thinking about, I might have a problem, you probably have, because normal people don't say that to themselves. There's something in you making you go, have I got a problem? Yeah, probably. Because normal people that have a couple of glasses of wine now and then aren't thinking that.
Are you looking to spend less time on paperwork and more time making things happen on site? Hustro.com is the simplest construction management software out there. Streamline inspections, defect reporting, and all your project documentation all in one app. With Hustro.com, contractors are seeing 75% less time on inspections and reports, 47% faster corrective actions, and almost a third quicker decision making. Hustro.com is the simplest software to manage construction projects, period. Level up your site efficiency today with Hustro.com.
Crazy stuff, pal. And you're like a whole life ahead of you. And you could probably say that you've blacked out for most of your young adult life.
Yeah. So much. So many stories where funny stories. I've had some, as I said before, I've had some great time in drinking drugs. There was one time I woke up in Portugal in blackout. I'm telling you, it's on YouTube. It's a 10-minute video on YouTube of me explaining how I ended up in Portugal. But what people, you see, it's all fun and games, and I share this story and I laugh about it now. I do. But at the time, Gavin, the first day I was in Portugal, I was in the casinos, I was in clubs, I was in strip clubs, I was in brothel, I was doing it all. Drinking, sniffing, I was doing it all. Spending thousands of pounds in a day. What I don't say is, the next 3 days after that, I'm sat in the apartment crying my eyes out, can't even talk, can't even move, because I'm full of fear, full of anxiety, and I want to kill myself.
Wow.
I don't share that. People see the good side and stuff. My brain sees that, oh, do you remember that time James, that you went to Portugal and it was all good laughs and all? Yeah, it was. My brain forgets the 3 days wanting to kill myself, crying and blubbering in the apartment on my own.
Wow.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Wow. Unreal. Where does the in terms of like support mechanisms and your structure, talk to me about that. Like, how did you get into a safe place, if you like?
Yeah, of course. So this goes into 25, and I thought I need to do something about this. I can't keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to be dead soon. My daughter was 5 years old. I'm going to be dead soon. And there was a family friend that had been in the recovery rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and she was like 12 years sober. So I know it worked. So I remember knocking on the door and saying, I think I need a meeting. And she took me to a meeting. This was back in October 2005, this was. So I went and started to try and get this support network together, but everything, I resisted against everything, Gavin. Everything become a justification. I'm only 25.
Yeah.
How can I, because the guys that are in the recovery rooms are average age is 50, 55, because they've battered drink all their life and then they get into recovery at 45, 50, 55.
Yeah.
Some older. So when I'm walking in, there was me and another lad that walked in. He was a little bit older than me, but like, I'm thinking, okay, what's my life come to be here?
Yeah.
Because my head would take me back to, do you remember that time you did the champagne, the girls, the coke? You were in the VIP of that dead posh club and everything was going amazing and everyone loved you because you were spending all your money, spent thousands, and I was. But then that's on the Friday. On the Sunday, I'm drinking wine under the viaducts with all the winos. People don't, that's where, doesn't matter where you start,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
where I'm going to end up. So for the first 5 years of my recovery, I went to the recovery rooms and it was on offer. What they were offering worked. I could see it in front of my eyes. All these people, healthy, clean and sober, living the best life.
Yeah.
But my own head had me over constantly. You're too young. I'm sure you can do it with a bit more willpower. You're seeing other people taking drinks with impunity, thinking, why can't I do that?
Mm.
And it's all this just, the only time I was in recovery for 5 years, in and out, in and out, in and out. And I did get some good chunks of sobriety. I remember the longest I got in those 5 years was 16 months because anybody will only do something when they're in that pain. Pain will then, growth always starts with pain. So I got to a point in the 5 years, I think, how old was I? Was I 27? And I was done. I was done. I was turning yellow. I was in my flat. It was empty. I was on my own. I was in a dark, dark place. I remember I had my back up against the wall in my flat. There was nothing in it. And I remember thinking, Gavin, I don't want to live, but I don't want to die either.
Right.
And I was at that crossroad position.
What are you going to do?
Exactly. What's your choice, James? You can carry on drinking and using,
Mhm.
which is very, very hard, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, I'm speaking to people that have a real serious problem with drink and drugs.
Yeah.
Because these people behind the screen now, Gavin, are going, yeah, I understand. If you're nodding your head now, Gavin's got hooks, I'm sure. Inbox wicket, I can help. I'm here to help.
Mm.
So that drinking and stuff is hard. Getting into recovery is also very, very hard. So just choose your hard. They're both hard. Choose your hard.
Which hard? Yeah.
Which one do you want? So
Yeah.
I was at this crossroads. I don't want to live, but I don't want to die either.
Yeah.
Choose your hard, James. And I got into recovery and I thought, right, I'm not, I thought, this was the 2nd of January 2007, my dad's birthday. Held my hands up, can't do it no more. I need to go to the recovery rooms. And I thought, right, and I did. And I listened to what these amazing people, very, very wise people had done before. And they said, just follow what we do. We're going to tell you what to do. Just follow it. Honestly, in that year, I thought, right, recovery's number one. It has to be, because if I put anything else in front of recovery, I'll lose it. So recovery's number one. Second was my family. Third was my work. I didn't care about anything else. Didn't go to the gym. Didn't care what I ate. Nothing. 2007 was, up to that point, the best year of my life. I was a year clean and sober. I was working for the Automobile Association, the breakdown company.
Yeah.
I was winning. I nearly got sacked. So I went from stage 3 disciplinary, nearly getting sacked at the end of 2006, to a year later, end of 2007. I was Employee of the Year out the whole of the Northwest, and I made an award of making them the most money out the whole country within 1 year.
that's where I was going to go with this. Like, how the hell are you feeding this habit? Where is the money coming from?
Loans, credit cards. I was very good at what I did. Sales. I've always been in sales. So with sales comes commission. So
Yeah.
I've always been, but a lot of it is, I think nothing about taking a 10 grand loan out and spending it in a week. And then just paying it bit by bit. I've been in my life, I've had debt recovery twice. I've run my bills up that much, 50, 60, 70 grand. That's not including all the money I've spent that I borrowed off family and all that.
Wow.
And then I've gone, can't do it, can't pay, debt recovery. Got wiped off after 6 years, then did it again. Up to 60, 70, 80 grand.
Wow.
Debt recovery, wiped it off. I got straight about, when did I get straight? I got straight like in 2017, 2018. I was like 7, 8 years sober. And I've got no debt now. I don't have it. Everything's back to normal and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
how ironic, I'm still paying one of them debts from 2007, 2008. I'm still paying one of them debts. 15 years on, £10 a month, whatever it is. These are the consequences
Yeah.
of my
Actions.
drinking. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So that's how I funded it.
Wow. And you were gambling as well, were you? Or did you go back into the gambling?
No, I stopped gambling at 19. I didn't really gamble because I think I used to count my money in how much alcohol can I get. So if I had like 20 quid, I think, well, that's 2 bottles of whiskey. That
Yeah.
would sort me out for 3 or 4 days rather than putting 20 quid in a fruit machine. I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
always think like, because I'd always want to get
Yeah.
off my head. What
Can I
could
ask
get
you?
off my head and keep me the longest?
Can I ask you a stupid question?
There's no stupid questions, but go on.
In your own view, do you think addiction is genetics?
My opinion,
Yeah.
massively. Huge.
All right, talk to me about that.
So I truly, truly believe that my dad was alcoholic.
Okay.
So my dad was alcoholic. He was a very happy drunk. My dad died 11 and a half years sober. So now this is a sad tale. So
Okay. Get the tissues out.
yeah, me, I've got it. Oh,
I
So,
don't have any tissues.
they're all ready. They're all
people's-
ready. So back in May 2010, me and my dad were bad. We were bad, and I did some horrible stuff. Like we would drink together when my mum was at work, but I would sniff coke in front of him, and he wouldn't look at me. But I would do it just because I was a twat. I was awful. Now my dad, he's the nicest man you'll ever meet. 7
Yeah.
stone, wet through, a little frail old man he was at the end. Anyway,
Yeah.
we drank together. Anyway, mum had had enough, and she wanted to kick us both out. And she was like, we both stopped. We both said, right, we need to stop this, James. We both stopped together on the same day, which was the 11th of May, 2010.
Yeah.
And we both got through it because because we drank so much for so long.
Yeah.
When we stopped, you can go into what's called alcoholic seizures. And you can have
Yeah.
it, you can die.
Heard that.
Very,
Yeah.
very dangerous.
Yeah. It's the
So we
withdrawal
stopped.
system from the withdrawals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, withdrawals, massive. So we'd stop and we'd get through the 3 days together, a little bit of water, dry toast. And then I relapsed 2 months later, 3 months later, and he helped me through that. And then we both gave up drink after that done. So my dad was actually a little bit longer than me. God will, if he would have still been alive today, he would have been 15 and a half years. But yeah, I truly believe it's genetic. I really, really do.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the two of you were enabling each other, weren't you? And which made it
Yeah.
worse. Which made it
yeah,
worse.
massive. We always. It was. I become quite a violent drunk me towards the end. My dad never was. He was just and he didn't drink. And it's not about the amount you take, by the way. People go, well, I don't drink whiskey, so I
Yeah.
can't be alcoholic. It's got nothing to do with it. I don't drink in the morning, so I can't be alcoholic. It's got nothing to do with it.
Mm.
But he would drink very small amounts, but just continually through the day.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Just tiny amounts.
I knew a postman that was like that back when I was a kid. Yeah, because we moved to the west coast of Ireland, which is a very rural area, and poitín and whiskey was kind of like the go-to drink. you know, and the postman, it was a known fact that, you know, it was nearly you would be talked about in the pub, or you'd be talked about in the village if you didn't offer up a drink to the postman when he came to pick up the post. How the hell he went around? And you talk about a functioning alcoholic. If you met this guy, number one, he shouldn't be driving, because he obviously there isn't that, like, put him on a bike, but no, he was driving, and like I'm going back a long time. Obviously, I was a kid, but like I'm talking about normal day to day. This is, well, like, everyone had a little shot for him, and he'd whip it back, and then good luck then. And that's only one house. Like, all right, it wasn't massive populations at the time, so it didn't matter. Like, he was gone from like 8 o'clock in the morning till what, 5 o'clock in the evening. And like when it came to Christmas time, it wasn't a little shot. It was like a bottle of whiskey was you were giving him a bottle of whiskey for Christmas. Um, but in terms of, it just resonated with me what you said there. Like, it didn't matter whether it was the day or whether it was the evening. Like, somehow people seem to find a way to function, and to be able to give this persona that they're actually able to get on with their lives, and to have, you know, a what might seem ordinary life, and an ordinary marriage, and an ordinary work life, when in fact, you know, someone said something there recently to me, and it resonated with me, was there's two people in every person. And like, in not every person, he said, but in most people, there's two people.
Yeah, I get that, definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of like, which one are you going to bring out? That's the problem, isn't it?
In recovery rooms, we call it masks. We have different masks for different situations and stuff like that. But I still think that comes out today. And even though I'm and I call myself recovered now, I'm recovered from alcoholism. I'm never cured, will never be cured, but I'm recovered on a daily basis because I suffered with a hopeless state of mind and body. Fucked. Once the obsession to drinking use has been taken away, and it gets removed, and has never returned for me in over 15 years. Thank you. That's as recovered as you're gonna get. You can't get any more recovered than that. When the obsession's gone, there's nothing else.
Well, let me ask you something about in that, if you don't mind me. Sorry to cut across you, James. What is your thoughts about people saying that they're an alcoholic when they're actually haven't touched a drink in over 15 years or whatever it is? Like, do you think, does that, for me personally speaking, I know that, like, people can put in whatever they want in the comments as well, but like, are you not kind of letting go of that stigma, if you don't use that word?
So,
I,
I've heard this a lot, and I've heard people saying if you're calling yourself an alcoholic, whether you're in recovery or not, you're labeling yourself.
yeah,
I would, I would still call myself an alcoholic, but I would always put the word before recovered.
yeah, fair point.
I'm a recovered alcoholic, or I'm active. I'm an active alcoholic, which means or you're a functioning alcoholic is another word for it.
Yeah,
But I would always label. I'll never be anything else. It doesn't define me as a person.
yeah,
I am James, and I've suffered a lot in my life, so then I can pass this on. I'm not. People don't. Well, I hope they don't. Oh, James the alcoholic.
yeah.
What I do get is James. You know the one with the breathing that sounds like he's just run a marathon. That one. That's what they
Yeah.
say. Sounds
Oh.
like Darth Vader. You know the one. Sounds like Darth Vader.
Do you think, I'm gonna, it's kind of a raw question to ask you, but
Really?
do you think you would have had a better life without the addiction, or would you think you were who you were?
What a question!
Sorry,
That's a great question.
I don't. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to sort of
That's
like.
no, that's mega. Do I think I would have had a better life without the addiction?
Yeah.
I don't. I think,
Wow.
and I'll tell you for why. Now you got me there.
Sorry, pal.
You got me there. Mega.
Yeah.
Absolute mega. No, I don't. No, I don't. And I'll tell you for why, because me going through what I've been through, and I was in addiction, active addiction, for the same time as I'm sober now, 15 years on both. So I've had two lives, and I wouldn't change it. Like the question that I got asked last year, I wouldn't change it because it's made me the person I am today.
Yeah.
I truly believe if I wasn't an alcoholic addict,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't have the relationship I've got with God that I do.
Yeah.
Because I've got the most amazing relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
I am a Christian.
Yeah.
And I've got the most amazing relationship with Christ ever. And I truly believe that, you see, something's got to happen. With every breakdown, there's a break. Sorry, with every breakthrough, there has to be a breakdown. There has to be something. Like before, what I said about pain
Yeah.
and strength. So I truly believe that if I would have said, I wish I wasn't, and I had a normal life, say, like my brother,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be as happy as I am today at all.
Yeah.
My life is incredible.
Yeah. Talk to me about that, because we've gone through the hardship, we've gone through the trauma. You come out the other side. Give us an indication what you're actually doing today. Give the audience, a sense of who James Ford is and how you're helping and giving back.
I love my life, and it's, by the way, don't get it twisted. It's nothing to do with external stuff, even though the external stuff's okay, that's been put in place for me. It's to do with when I say I'm living my best life. This is what I mean. And it's the simple stuff, Gavin. I wake up in a clean bed. I wake up in my own bed. I'm in my own bed. I know where I am when I wake up. Yeah, I'm in my own house. I'm not in some crack den somewhere. I'm in my own bed, in a clean bed. I have, and and I've not got that racing head. I've not got, the best thing about recovery is waking up in the morning and the obsession, the first thought that you have is, where can I get my next drink from? That's what it was for me. That was every single day. Where can I get my next drink from? So the obsession was on me. That I've not had that in 15 years. I'd say that's the best miracle I've ever had. Then stuff like, I'll give you another miracle. Now this is a miracle. Get another fucking tissue. The last 9 months of my drinking and using, I weren't allowed to see my daughter. She was 10. Her mother, who I'm still good friends with now, thank God, said, James, you can't even look after yourself. You can't even see her. You can't even see her. My brothers, my sister-in-laws, nobody wanted to know me. The only people that did was my mum and dad. They stuck by me. Fast forward a little bit, 2015, when I got sober, I built my life back up, and I built relationships back up. So the good stuff that I've got, again, is building the relationships back up with my daughter. My mum and my dad before he passed. Both my brothers love spending time with me now. Love spending time with me. They couldn't stand being around me back in the day. So these are all the blessings. This is why my life is amazing. It's because of everything that's built up that I've lost through my own fault, my own illness, but I've got that back tenfold and more. My daughter emigrated to Canada at 15 with all that side of the family. And I was absolutely beside myself. I had an emotional breakdown 3 months later. I was in bits. Never drank all you, because that doesn't come into the equation. I had the tools to deal with these emotions and what's going on. I don't refer back to the default of drink. And she was there for a year. And then I remember we'd FaceTime all the time. And then I remember it. When was it? February 16. She FaceTimes me. Dad, I want to come home. I said, what? She said, I miss you all. I want to come home. So I said, we better speak to your mum. She said, well, I'm 16 in a couple of months, so it's up to me. So I said, yeah, that's understandable. Let's speak to your mum. Long story short, mum agreed. I flew over to Canada, had a weekend to Canada, brought her home. This is the guy that couldn't look after himself. This is the guy that was homeless. On my last bender, I was homeless, turning yellow. My parents disowned me. Same colour as you're at. My parents disowned me. They were the last two people to go go and sleep under the viaducts with all the other winos. Me and your dad are done. And I thought, shit, I've done it now. This is a guy that couldn't look after himself, can't even look after his daughter. His daughter is now come back from Canada and is the sole custody guardian parent of this child that I couldn't even look after. These are the miracles of stopping drinking and using and living your best life. Now, don't get it twisted again, Gavin. Recovery is very, very hard. We spoke about this before. It's very hard. People see me and they go, 15 years, God, you've smashed it.
Hello, gaffers. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. We love every one of the guests that we have, but in order to bring on more great guests, we'd love to build the channel with you. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and let's create a really great community where we bring in better and better guests for you to deliver great content and great pieces of information that you can take back into your business. Now, back to the podcast.
They don't see the graft I've put in.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see the view on the top of the mountain.
100%.
But nobody wants to climb it.
No. Well, there's a true saying, isn't it? If you look at the top of the mountain, you say to yourself, geez, I couldn't climb that. But if you look at one foot in front of the other and just
keep going,
you'll be up there eventually at some stage.
You will. Of course you will.
That's a lovely story. And so is your daughter still at home or in the UK with you now? Or
yeah,
what?
So my daughter's, she came back here at 16. She lived with me till she was 19, and then she'd saved up. She got her head screwed on.
Yeah.
Saved up, bought her own house. So she's got her own house. So she's lived in her own house since she was 19.
Well done. Fair play to her.
Oh, mega. And given us our grandchild, Ivan, who's 18 months old, who is incredible. And there's a little part of me that wants to go the extra, I need to, and want to go the extra mile for my grandson.
Yeah.
Because of the years I've missed out on my daughter.
Yeah.
I missed the first 10 years.
Yeah.
Listen, it's 45 minutes. I could tell you so many stories about what happened, the good times, the bad times. But it's 30 years experience in 45 minutes. Ain't going to cut it.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a part 2.
There's a couple of podcasts in you, James Ford, I can tell you that.
I'm telling you, I love it. It's been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so you're going around construction projects now and you're telling your story as it is. I'm sure you have a sort of a playbook or a presentation that, everybody has listened to at this stage, but it's pretty much in around the story that you've told us today. Is that the way your presentation works?
Yes, similar. Yeah, similar. In a little bit more in depth, but yeah.
Yeah, but like one thing that struck me in the pre-chat that we had was that you tell your clients, anybody can contact me anytime, forever, for the future. I'm here for you. Or
ever.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it isn't.
No, that's exactly what I said.
It is exactly what you said. So now that you're saying it in front of a couple of million people, I just want to make sure that that's okay with you, because you're going to be pretty busy.
Do it. And so, back before we press record, speaking of views and stuff,
yeah.
What got me on TikTok was I did a 7-second video because I joined TikTok and for 2 or 3 months I didn't know what to post. I was trying to be a comedian. I was trying to do this, trying to do that.
Yeah.
And then I just did one video, 7 seconds, and it just said, if you want help getting off drink or drugs, inbox me. That's all I said.
Yeah.
Within 24 hours, it had 300,000 views.
Wow.
And I woke up to 300 messages within 24 hours.
Wow.
Gavin,
jeez,
I answered every single one.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Every single one I answered.
Wow.
And that's when God said to me,
get off TikTok. Get off TikTok.
Off you go. No, don't get off TikTok. So that's where it comes from. I will give. It's all for me. It's all about, as I said to you before, I'm retired. I don't work. I do the motivational speeches on building sites. I do loads on social media. I've got merchandise out. We look after our grandson. I just love helping because I do not want. Me and the missus we say it all the time, if we can help just one person per day, our job is done.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in to you, and as you the person, and you the brand, and you the leading authority to go out and talk to these people and help them. But you know, in terms of you yourself, you say you're in a great place and you're in a good place and you're 15 plus years sober. It just seems like you're in a really calm sort of mindfulness place, that you're happy and content with life. Would that be fair to say?
Massively. I've never been more content in all my life.
There's no health after effects that has dragged on with you since your sobriety.
Not with the drink and not as a consequence of drinking and using. No, there's nothing. I don't think it's done my original illness any favours. However, it's I don't speak about what I go through with my illness and stuff, and the medication I go through on a daily basis. Number one, 'cause it's boring.
No, my mother had a COPD, and it's a very, very serious illness, and it's a very dilapidating illness, and sorry to hear that.
It's horrendous. So my brother, just to go back, my brother said to me, he rang me one day. This is my brother who obviously we were saying before. And he rang me one day, he went, I know what you're going through. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I know what you're going through. I've just had to breathe through a straw for a minute and a half. 30 seconds, sat down, 30 seconds running, 30 seconds sat down. I couldn't do it. I couldn't breathe through the straw. And the exercise was, that's how people with COPD breathe 24/7. And that's spot on. But go on.
Sorry, there seems to be an epidemic of COPD actually as well. There's a massive rise of like, it's more common these days than it ever was.
Yeah. A lot of people go, oh, how long did you smoke for? And I say, no, I've never smoked. It's genetic. What me and my dad have got, we're in all the medical books, but it's got no name. It's that rare, it's got no name. He died of it. I'll die of it. But coupled with that, I also have no immune system at all. So I can't fight anything off. So every 2 weeks, I have to sit there for 2 hours and put pins in my belly and have immune system put in me. So I've got the right level of white blood cells and whatnot in my system. So I do that on a weekly basis. Then I've got my nebulizers that I have I've always got it with me. I have my nebulizers constantly. They're always with me, because when I get short of breath, I have to get my lungs back going again. But I never mentioned this in talks. People go, do you know how empowering this is to see what you go through on a daily basis, and you're still the way you are? But I don't know any different.
No, but you're a proper working class gent. Yeah, we're going to throw a few curveballs at you, James Ford, if you don't mind. Ready for it? I was going to ask you, and we always ask this to the guests, is, you know, what would you do differently now, knowing what you know? You kind of answered it in the show, really, didn't you? Kind of like,
But what I would do differently is, example, when I first got in recovery 20 years ago, because I got in recovery October 2005, as I said before, what would I do different? I'd change a lot of stuff, whereas I'd stop hanging around with the same people. I'd stop walking in pubs. There's quite a few bits that I'd stop doing. I would give recovery more of my time and energy, because I spent 5 years messing about. That 5 years could have been so beneficial to my life. So I would take people are watching this now and they're brand new on your recovery journey, and you go into the recovery rooms, whatever they may be. When you've got people in front of you that are 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years sober, and they're saying, mate, I suggest you do this, this, and this. Just listen, because they've been before. But as my mentor says, it takes a very wise person to listen to somebody else. A lot of people won't do it because they want to learn from their own mistakes. But yeah, I would throw myself more into recovery if I had the chance, if I had to start again.
Wow. Favorite book or movie? You know, you're going to hit me with Train Spotting or something now, are you?
No. My favourite movie of all time,
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I am
Hall of Fame. Absolute Hall of
I am
Fame.
all for comedy.
Yeah,
Listen, life's about laughing. And
yeah.
laughing, it releases your endorphins. It gets you in a happy mood.
100%.
Smiling.
100%.
People used to say, I love it. Listen, if you're walking down the street and you see somebody not smiling, just give them one of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
smile at them. How you doing? Matter
Yeah.
of conversation. Hiya, mate. How you doing? Yeah, I'm all right, you know.
yeah,
Do you know loads of people say about this mental health and all that? And make sure you check up on your mates.
yeah,
Do you know, I don't do half as much as what I'd like to do.
yeah,
So I've made it my mission now. I'm texting random people I've not spoken to for years going, how are you doing? They're like, who's this?
yeah.
My
funny.
number's not saved. But you've got to put yourself out there and help people.
My daughter's 12 years of age, and she has that trait where you could be walking down the street with her, and randomly she just says hello to people that she doesn't know. She doesn't know, and like, and it's brilliant because you watch their faces, and they just go, like, "Do I know you?" or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, how are you?" It's just,
Absolutely. Love it. I love that. Never make sure she keeps doing that.
yeah. It's not something that's come from me. And I wish it did. Wish I could say it. Wish I could say it did, but it wasn't from me.
So yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite film. My favorite book's got to be the Bible. Absolutely adore the Bible. But my favorite film is it's a bit of a contrast, really, isn't it? Favorite book, Bible. Favorite film, Dumb and Dumber.
You're a legend. What about a favorite go-to destination or a holiday destination that you kind of go, you know, that's my go-to place?
It's gonna be only because I've been going I've been going for nearly 40 years. Centre Parks. Been going since we were 8 years old. At Christmas time and stuff like that with all the lights, and people go, it's very expensive. I know. We love it. We love it. We 16 of us have just come back from there. Incredible.
We have one in Ireland, and it's not as good, obviously, as the UK version, but I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, been to the one in Ireland. Yeah, I've been to the one in Ireland. Not the one in the UK is supposed to be 3 times the size for obvious reasons.
We always go Sherwood. We've done the others, but my go-to is Sherwood Forest at Christmas time. I'm done. Stick a pin in me, I'm done. I love that. People go, yeah, go abroad, go Maldives, go here, go there. Centre Park.
Centre Parks, yeah, I love that.
I've done all. I can go all abroad and all that. I've been, and I've got so many holidays booked for the next 2 or 3 years because now I'm retired, and it's all about making memories. That I'm going to be doing all that, but off the cuff, Centre Park.
Centre Parks all day, mate. If people want to get in touch with you, James Ford, I'm going to do something different with you today because you've been so good to us with your time and energy, right? And I'm going to do and it's not like it's probably out of Wolf of Wall Street, but I'm not going to ask you to do what he did with getting out of the car because that's just. You remember him getting him out of the car trying to get into the country club?
You're not going to throw me against the dartboard, are you?
No. I'm not going to throw you against the dartboard. But I'm going to put you on the spot, right? And you got like this is live, as in we're in Facebook Live. But I'm going to put you on the spot. Considering you were so good at what your job was in terms of selling the cars, sell me a car.
So yeah, car, okay. So I would we would sit down, I would ask you a few questions, not even car related. How you doing? I had a good day, Oh, have you just come from a doctor's appointment? Yeah, chat.
I'm reminding you now that you were the UK's top salesperson in cars back in the day.
Yes, I was in 2022.
Volkswagen, yeah. 2020. So any listeners or audience members, you know, sell me the pen.
Sell me the pen, sell me a car. And we would just chat. And I would just be me. Because let me tell you, they ain't come to buy the car. They've come to buy. If they're walking into a dealership, they're already halfway there. If they walk in and they don't like me, they ain't buying. They're not buying. 100% they're not buying. Doesn't matter if it's the best price on earth. If they don't like you, they're not buying. So I would just be me. And you see, the thing is with me is, and people go, you have to lie. You have to lie as a car salesman. All car salesmen lie. No, I didn't. Because, as I said, customers can see through the BS. They can. All the usual tricks. Oh, it's a deal for today. No, it's not. So you're telling me, if I come back tomorrow, you're not going to give me that deal? No, it's the deal for today. Rubbish. There's only one car available in the whole of the UK. It's in your colour. Do you want it or not? To speed up the desire. There's 5. I've got 5 in the back. It's all lies. So I would just be me, and I would just ask them for what their needs are for the car, and I would ask them why they would want those needs. Well, they really need sat-nav. Yeah, but you've got it on your phone, so you'll save £1,000 there. So straight away, you're building the trust up with them. They're going, hang on a minute, aren't you meant to be taking money from me, not giving it me back? And you build up the trust, and you build up and it so much so that the last 5 years of my working career, I never made a phone call to ring customers to say, do you want to come and change your car? They had my number, hence why I got 2 phones. They would ring me. James, I'm due an upgrade now. I go, yeah, come in and see me. But the thing is, my customers become friends. I'm actually going out with me and my missus are actually going out with customers on Saturday that we've become really good friends with for food. It's nuts. So the people buy people. They're already halfway there buying the car. You're just there to just tweak a few numbers and stuff like that. But you've got to be honest. You've got to be honest. And don't promise too much either. I fell short of that a lot. You promise them the world. And then it raises their expectations up here of what they're expecting when the car comes. And when you give them the car and they go, you said you'd sort those chips on the bonnet. Well, I have. I've touched them in. No, but you said you'd sort them. So you have to really bring down their expectations. But you know what? It's mad because it's so ingrained in me now with how I did it. People go, how do you sell cars like that? I don't know. No, I just do. I don't know.
But it's a wonder Volkswagen didn't hold on to you and sort of do sales training for the other people in the organisation.
Well, it's funny you should say that because obviously I'm still good friends with a lot of them and I have a lot of contacts. Obviously, I'm in Manchester, so all the Volkswagen dealers that I'm friends with are places like Bolton, where I worked, Bury, Altrincham, Manchester, Stockport. Every time I walk in to see you, just, how you doing? Are you okay? Without a doubt, the manager, the big boss, who's my friend, would go, do you not fancy just coming back a couple of days a week? Just come back. James, just sell them for us and then we'll hand them over. You don't even have to be here. Just sell. I remember, listen to this. I was in hospital in 2021 with a serious chest infection. My infection indicators were through the roof. I came out of, did I come out of surgery? I had a little bit of a procedure. I come out of surgery, sold 3 cars still under the anaesthetic.
Stop.
Honestly.
James.
Excuse me, boys, I've had one of them things down. Sold 3 cars. And then I'm ringing through to the office saying, I've just sold 3 cars. They went, James, you're in hospital. I went, I know, but they just rang me phone. I've just sold 3 cars. Honestly.
Right. Let me get to it. How is people going to contact you? We've talked for over an hour, and we could have talked for another hour, but we did talk about some serious topics. And anyone that is suffering from any of the issues that we talked about in the podcast, please reach out, and I will give you over to James Ford to let you know where he can be reached out to and what he does. The floor is yours, James.
Thanks, Gavin. First of all, can I just thank you? It has been incredible. So if you're not following the Gaffer podcast at the moment and you're watching, click that follow button because I'm pretty sure there's going to be more of me and there's definitely going to be more of him. You can get me on my main one is Instagram. Everything's JT Motiv. If you want to speak to me, listen, it's all confidential. It's all private. Nobody knows, just me and you. You can chat privately on Instagram through voice notes. Love me voice notes. I've got far too much to say. JT Motiv on Instagram. You can also get me on TikTok, JT Motiv, and YouTube, JT Motiv. and LinkedIn, JT Motiv. They're all there. You can chat to me on any of them, all private and confidential. The main one I use would be Instagram. On there, you'll receive motivational videos, lifestyle tips, hacks of how to do stuff. Basically, I put my life on there to show other people that, number one, it can be done. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And number two, I'll give you tips and tricks of how to start living your best life, your do's and don'ts. And if you need me for anything, hand on heart, please, please, please get in touch. I love speaking to people, hearing from you and helping. Gavin, you've been the best.
James, I loved this show, and you are an inspiration to everybody else, and you're an inspiration to me. From a personal point of view, I want to thank you very much. That today has been very emotional for both of us, but you've been yourself all the way through, and that's why we wanted you on the show, is that in terms of championing this particular sensitive topic, there's no better person in the country that can deliver it like yourself. So thanks very much for your time, and we will get you back for sure out of retirement, but to give us some more stories and anecdotes of your journey. Okay, pal?
Thank you so much.
Take care, buddy. All the best.
You too.
Hastro is the simplest construction management software. Track progress, control works, access docs, and analyze performance, all in one platform.
First, eliminate planning and tracking headaches. Set up work areas, schedule and assign tasks quickly with our intuitive interface. Track progress in under 15 seconds. Attach documentation, photos, and videos to keep crews aligned. The whole team can communicate with each other through Hastro or email, whichever feels more natural. But tracking is just the beginning. Next, standardize and simplify control and assurance. Automatically align inspections with ISO standards and internal procedures to ensure compliance. Connect inspections with issue tracking to identify and address problems quickly. Control quality, safety, and environmental compliance with observation and corrective action tracking. Activate your subcontractors through QR code submission forms and react faster than ever. And when you need information, access project data anytime, anywhere. 1 second drawing load to instantly open any blueprint. Smart file organization to help you find the correct document quickly and easily. Even without an internet signal, you can still access schematics, plans, and specifications. This multi-device power in our Hastro Cloud Drive keep you coordinated everywhere. Now, here's where it gets powerful. You can transform your project's data into results. Turn issues into actions with instant insights that spot critical problems before they escalate. Create custom reports in PDF, Excel, or CSV format. Start testing Hastro for free today.